Hey guys, it's Ayden. This is week 4, uh, and this topic is um your chosen name. Um, my chosen name is Ayden. Um, I chose it because I met I've always tried to, even as a kid, tried to figure out a nickname or something that would look or feel like would fit me, and um like I went through a bunch of different things in my head and I never really told anybody. And then, when I came out, I really started putting them into consideration and kind of throwing them out there, but I didn't really want to go by one unless I was really sure about it. Um, but I chose Ayden because I met this little boy and he he told me his name, and I was in a hospital actually, and I was in a waiting room, uh, waiting for a family member to come out, and uh, he he was bored and probably about like maybe 7 years old, maybe somewhere around there. I don't know. He was just a really sweet little boy, and he totally just kind of like bypassed my voice and didn't really he didn't even say anything about it. Like he was just, I don't know, he didn't know me, and he just came over to me and started talking to me. And he asked me my name, and I told him, and at that point I didn't have a name chosen that was for, you know, a male name for me yet. And he 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 asked, he kind of was like, when I told him, because it sounds like a girl name, and when I told him, he kind of stepped back a little, and he's like, "You're a girl?" And I kind of looked down, and I was just like, I guess you could say that. And he looked up at me, and he told me, "Well, you don't look like one. You don't act like one. And if you are a girl, really cool." He's like, "But you look like a guy to me." And I was like, "Well, thank you." And he didn't say it in a mean way or anything like that. And I asked him what's his name, and he said Ayden. And when he said the name, I don't know, something. I was like, I really like that name. And he said, thank you. And it was crazy because after that night of seeing him, I didn't see him again. And you never thought you would see him again. And uh, I had bumped into him like a couple months later at a gas station, and he came running over to me, and was so happy to see me. And this little boy only met me once, him and his little sister. And it was just I don't know. It's just really awesome how stuff like that happens. And I never, thought I would see him again, and I did. And so it kind of just felt like the name was right, Ayden. Because for a little bit, I was still going through different names, and he came back, the chances of him coming back up, and bumping him to this little kid again was like slim to none, you know, at least I thought. And yeah, so it was really cool. Um, I also had gone through other names and thoughts before, and the first one I thought about, but I didn't have anybody call me that, was Dylan. And then I didn't really see my parents calling me that. I didn't really see that going through. And then I thought about Matthew because that's what my mom said she would have named me if I was a boy. And I like that name. But I don't know how many of you and your parents, all know or how this quite works out, but like, I like the name Matthew, and I think it could possibly fit me. But my mom kind of tries to feminize it, and I think that's what bothers me with that name, because she wants to go by Maddie, and I know guys can go by Matty, but I feel like she's gonna try and do Maddie and feminize it, and I don't want her to get that idea that she can get around the fact that this is what's gonna happen, even though I want to let her take her time in realizing and going through the steps, even though she supports me in her own way, um, even though she doesn't want it to happen. But yeah, um, so that's so I still kind of keep that on the table from Matthew because I feel like kind of want something that my mom or my family would like, and I don't know, my mom wouldn't have picked the name Ayden, um, but I go by it, and I've been going by it for about a year, um, and at work, I'm Ayden, and I turn my head when I'm called Ayden, and just I just known as Ayden, um, to the people who know and at work. Um, of course, my family doesn't call me that. Uh, they're still with my birth name, um, and they're kind of telling me like they don't. Well, why can't we just call you Steph? When you're not around your friends, and it just kind of hurts me. Even though I realize that it's gonna be hard, and I tell them that I know it's gonna be hard. But I just know that it's gonna hurt if they don't try, and that I'm going, like, it kind of feels like even though they know, I still have to live two lives, you know? When I go to work, I'm he and him, and I'm Ayden. Or when I'm around my friends who know, who pretty much are the ones who I hang out with, I'm he, him, and I'm Ayden. But when I come home, I'm Steph, and I'm she, and I'm hers. You know, like she and her, I don't know, just, um, other than that, um, she wants me to pick like a name, either Matthew, you know, like I said, or Stefan. I don't know how I feel about Stefan. I like it, I guess, to an extent, but I feel like I'll constantly be reminded of the fact of she pronouns and being Steph as a girl, Stefan, and that they won't see me as male because it's so close to my birth name. And I don't know, like, I feel like that might bother me. Not that it's bad for people who do. Um, like, such as Jesse, he asked if someone would comment, and I think it's cool, you know, if you want to keep your birth name, because hey, that's awesome for you. You know, you don't have to go through putting out the money to change your name, and you know, you don't have to go through fitting a different name if it feels right for you. That you could still be he and his and still feel comfortable with it. That's great. I think that's awesome. Um, as for me, I'm at that point where like I'm confused on whether or not I could handle that, because am I letting, I don't know how to, am I letting my family, like I feel like they won't go with the whole he and male pronouns if my name is so close to my birth name. But then again, it's kind of two-sided. There's a pro and a con where, um, you know, it could be, maybe they'll start saying it quicker because it's closer to my birth name. Um, or maybe it'll feel a little easier to do, but I don't know. I feel like I'm Ayden, um, but I keep those two names in mind because uh, I love my family. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. If you think Ayden fits me, or if you think Matthew or Matt, or Stefan. I mean, in the end, I'm gonna choose what's best for me, but I just like you guys' opinions. Uh, but yeah, it'd be cool to know what you guys think. Um, but as far as I know, I'm Ayden. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next video. Later.